Hello, and this is Follow the Boat. It's our interviews with sailors. And here we are today in Brighton, sunny, beautiful Brighton Marina, and I'm with Lorraine and Marco of
Sailing Yacht Pension Games.
Sailing Yacht Pension Games. Before we start the interview proper,
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to explain also to everybody, because this is a question we keep being asked about when we do these interviews. Why did you choose this particular boat? And just tell us a little bit about this boat. Tell everybody what boat it is and why you chose it.
This is an Oyster, very similar to Jamie and Lizzie's Oyster 435, except this is 3 foot shorter. It's a 406. One of the main reasons we chose the boat is we had a limited choice due to Marco's ridiculous Dutch height of 6'6".
The only reason why we bought this boat is because it got ceiling height.
Yeah, basically, it had really nice, light, bright windows. It had the layout that I wanted. In all fairness, I'd seen the 435 layout and I thought I really liked that layout. The galley at the side, the 2 cabins and the 2 en-suites, so to speak.
They're very similar, aren't they?
I think they are, you know. It's just that you've got the extra passage berth kind of thing.
Yeah, we've got the bunks, which we just use as storage.
Which, yeah, would have been great, but yeah, we haven't got that. But it works for us. We knew we were going to take our cats sailing, and so we needed a loo for them.
And a spare bedroom.
And a spare bedroom for when they're on passage. And it just worked for us, but mainly it was the height, because Marco needed something.
The fact that it got quite high displacement, and one day we actually hope to leave Brighton Marina. Just the fact that it's a heavy boat, that really didn't play a part at all.
No, nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with wanting to go around the world.
Nothing to do with it being safe, but it had
everything to do.
It had an extra cabin for the cats.
And just for the record, how tall are you?
I'm 6'6", and for people, for people from my part of the world, that's 197 centimeters.
It's tall. It's tall.
Yes, it's tall.
It's ridiculously tall.
It is.
So we're going to start the interview proper now.
Okay.
And I may just adjust a couple of these questions, but I
Okay.
think we could start with a very straightforward question, which is, and either of you and both of you can answer,
Alright.
where would you most like to be right now?
Darling?
Right now, it's more considering it's the end of July, somewhere anchored off Manhattan,
Ah,
Wow, really?
because it will be summer in New York tends to be warm, and it's one of the areas where I really would love to sail to, the northeast coast of America.
For me, I've just always wanted to go to Bora Bora, so regardless of the season, and it might not be the best season to be there, I aim one day to get to Bora Bora, and that's where I would like to be right now.
okay. And as you're sailing to Manhattan or Bora Bora,
Yes.
do you have in your head a soundtrack? You don't necessarily have to be listening to it on the boat, but is there a soundtrack that you have when you think of sailing?
I'm going to answer this
Yeah,
one
yeah,
first.
you better do.
You're not a soundtrack guy, are you?
I'm not a musician in the family.
I've got a soundtrack that I absolutely love, and I'm sure the reason for this might come out in another question. But my favourite soundtrack is by a band called Phenomenon, which is a Scandinavian band, and they've got it's like a chill out music. It's called Pacific Memories, and when you're going along on the boat with no engine and you're just heading into a quiet anchorage to drop the hook, I can't think of anything I'd rather listen to.
Cool, we'll have to check that one out. Thank you very much. Now, this is what we usually ask to people when we've met them overseas and they're a long way from home. And the question is, what do you miss most about home, not including family and friends? So let's say, what do you imagine is going to be the most difficult thing to leave behind when you leave this part of the world on your world adventure?
I honestly am a bit strange. I would miss absolutely nothing. This might sound a bit odd, and it might actually not even sound true, but I've travelled a fair bit. I've lived in a fair few different countries. I'm not even from here. I have no problem with leaving things behind at all. Again, apart from family and friends, which don't count, but I am not attached to a country, a city, an area. I just look forward to the next place we're going.
I would have said that I'd miss British pubs and beer gardens, but Jamie gave that answer in his interview.
I think all English people
I
say
remember.
that.
I know. So I'm going to say something different. I'm going to say that I would miss the ability to go to my favourite pop and rock concerts, because they're damn easy to get tickets here. Especially in Brighton or proximity to London, and it's really not that easy to get a ticket for a gig that you really want to go to overseas. So I think I would miss the ability to just see live music.
Some places do have live music, some don't. But
But you know, if you're sailing, it's kind of, are you going to be there when that band are
yeah.
there? It's a bit
potluck.
yes.
Yeah. This is a sort of paraphrase of a quote from Mark Twain, in which he says, travel broadens the mind. Does it broaden the mind, or does it reinforce old prejudices? What do you think?
Definitely think it broadens the mind. It's not an easy question. I mean, wherever you go, you pick something up from the country, whether it's the language or the culture or funny habits. I think it relaxes as well. It's just nice to meet people from somewhere else. So I guess it broadens the mind.
Do you think it's because people who travel are open to new experiences anyway? So by definition, because you're a traveller.
Well, you must be, yeah.
I guess for me, I think it depends on where you're travelling to and what kind of traveller you are. If they say travel broadens the mind, you've got people like us who, for example, we went to Cambodia and Laos a couple of years ago, and for us it was just an absolute eye-opener.
It's awesome.
To what, I mean, we just picked up a backpack and we just went off for a couple of months, and for us it was just a really good experience of meeting people. We had no we probably did have prejudices about Phnom Penh, for example, and what had happened there, but we found it to be a really interesting place with fantastic people and a great culture. Whereas you could call a traveller somebody who goes to Spain or Benidorm for their holiday every year, and the most exciting thing they're going to do is complain that they can't get English fish and chips, and that nobody speaks English. So it depends. I mean, if you see people like that, maybe that reinforces old prejudices. But for us, it most definitely broadens the mind, and I can't get enough of it.
You definitely need to have an open mind. So as soon as you get the passport out of the drawer, I think that's when the whole process starts.
Yeah.
I think we agree.
Yeah.
I think we agree. If you were to be given one, what would your superpower be? If you were allowed to have one superpower, what would it be?
Is engineering skills a superpower?
It is in my book.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of sailors I know would like that. Yeah.
I would love to have an eye for engineering, or
swallowing a guidebook,
or the fact to turn two left hands into one right, one left and one right. That'd be great.
I think if it was a superpower, I'd quite like to be able to teleport myself and say, well, you know, I don't want to be in Brighton anymore, I want to be in, then just shut my eyes, open them again, and there I am.
Can we skip 4,000 miles without actually having to sail it?
Yeah, you'd have to be able to take the boat with you.
I think so. Yeah.
And Marco, presumably, and the cats.
Well, yes,
definitely the cats.
I wouldn't be sailing the boat without it.
What do you want to do when you grow up?
I want to be like Marco, even though he's younger than me. I want to be a sailor.
When I grow up, no.
You want to be a mature human being.
I think I've given up hope. I don't think it's going to happen very soon.
I don't think we're ever going to grow up, are we?
No.
If you grow up, you go old too soon.
The chances are very little.
Alright, so let's just changing tack slightly. What's your favourite bit of kit on board?
Oh, that's an easy one for me. Fridge. Although,
and why?
Well, because it keeps beer cold, it keeps milk cold for tea in the morning. Although it doesn't work very well, it either freezes everything or doesn't freeze anything at all because it's always going wrong. I think it's my favourite bit of kit because without it, you're just struggling to keep anything cold or
Fresh.
fresh. Yes, that's the word, fresh.
The depth sounder is not a bad one for a skipper who is quite.
That's not a bad one.
Well, who's not the best chart reader in the world and who tends to hit the bottom from time to time.
Okay. So depth sounder, I think that's a fairly essential piece of kit. Yeah.
For me, it is.
And if you could go back in time, where would you go? Doesn't have to be anything to do with sailing. If you can go back in time, what sort of time would you want to go back to, and where would you be?
This is not in your own lifetime.
No, anything.
Any time.
Interpret the question however you like.
Okay, well, I think mine would be almost definitely ancient Egypt. Yes, ancient Egypt. Oh, I'd just love to have. I wouldn't want to be an ancient Egyptian.
No.
I would
Unless
just
you're a
like
queen.
to be me, invisible, in ancient Egypt to see how they built the pyramids and how Ramesses II took control on his chariots and how they did those little carvings and built Abu Simbel. I mean, I'd just love to be there that time.
How deep is my life?
Yeah.
How thoughtful.
And come along, my darling.
I mean, I'll happily go back to the 80s and have energy again, have hair.
Oh God, I was being deep, wasn't I?
that'll do for me. Just
Yeah.
be, I don't know.
Go back to a time when you had hair.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
go back to being, I don't know, 17 or somewhere around 17, 21. And
But you'd have to know all the things that you know now, wouldn't you? That's what I always think.
That's what you
If you want to
said.
start,
I'll settle for half of that.
Yeah, half of it.
Marco once said he would like to go back to be 17 and you'd like to dive like you do now because then
Yeah.
you'd go off and be a dive instructor.
Well, that's a really good point because we learned how to, sort of learn how to sail, scuba dive, skiing. We learned that once we
All the S's.
all the fun stuff in life. We learned once we got together, which was sort of mid-30s, late 30s, and I would love to have learned all these skills a lot younger. So I wish I would have been a bit more adventurous while growing up instead of seeing the light.
there's
later
still
on.
loads of time, Marco. You can enjoy it all. Don't you worry about
Yeah,
it.
I'm 50 yet.
I've definitely got at least another 80 years to go.
Okay, given that you haven't done a huge amount of circumnavigating yet, do you have a favourite anchorage?
Favorite anchor?
One place that really sticks in your mind?
Okay, my favourite anchorage. Oh God, there's two favourite anchorages. So my favourite anchorage, just because it's the very first place we ever sailed on our own without any help, is a little place just outside Civitar on the island of Lefkas, where we took the boat on our own and we dropped the anchor for the first time on our own without any help, and we stood looking out and saying, okay, is it moving? Is that car moving next to that church? And once we knew we were safe, he dived in the water, clambered into the dinghy that we'd been towing behind, said, chuck me a beer, love.
Yeah.
And he had a cold mythos sitting in the dinghy, and I put on this track, Pacific Memories, and it was just the best feeling in the world. And I just thought at the time, I will never forget this moment.
And you haven't. It sounds brilliant. Yeah. Same one for you, or do you have another one?
There've been quite a few. Well, I mean, despite limited, the
Experience.
limited bit of exploring we've done, I really enjoyed English Harbour, not far away from
One of
Lorraine.
our favourites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That place has always had some good memories.
That was
Yeah.
excellent.
What was
yeah.
it about English Harbour that you like?
It's difficult to say. I mean, it was so beautiful and green, which you wouldn't really expect from a warm country like Turkey. And it was the height of summer,
Yeah.
but it just felt green, peaceful, and just standing on deck, looking around the awesome scenery, the peace and quiet.
And I think
Just
it was
beautiful.
really easy for us to take a line ashore there as well, wasn't it?
Plenty of room, a lot of room there.
It was a bit of room,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I remember that green as well. The forest, just forest of green and
Yeah,
quiet.
it was like being in Scotland with Mediterranean heat. It was gorgeous.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting towards the end. Not many to go. A fun one here. If Follow the Boat could grant you one wish, any wish, what would it be?
I think for me, my wish would be to wake up one morning and be an expert engineer And honestly, it's kind of what you said earlier.
Because her
It's-
husband is useless.
well, I didn't say that, but it's true that you have to learn so much about boats. It's not just about sailing, and they say you never stop learning, but we haven't even scratched the surface yet, have we? We're just like completely useless when it comes to maintaining our own boat and what everything on the boat does. So I'd just like to be able to wake up one morning, if you could grant me that wish, and just say, okay, I know what this does and this does and this does and how to fix it.
It's a good wish. Yeah. Same wish?
Well, yes, it would be very helpful. I mean, if a little wish could come through, was basically somebody could press the start button, and so we're not completely ready to give everything up and go. But I can't wait for that moment to arrive. So probably another 2-3 years. If you could make that happen, that we were on that particular
Fast
moment.
forward, but we don't get any older.
Well, exactly, yeah. So put the clock 3 years forward and our age 3 years back or something.
You've got to do it. You've got to do it. You put that clock forward. You make it happen. Yeah.
It all happens.
Which takes us to the last question, which is what next?
For sailing,
Anything you like.
for sailing, we're planning to go to the Channel Islands, aren't we?
Yeah.
At the end of August, for 10 days or so, to revisit Sark and Alderney and Guernsey,
Lovely parts of the world.
and maybe pick some duty free up in Jersey.
Oh yeah.
No kidding, £10
if
for a litre bottle of gin or vodka, proper brand.
We're off topic.
Who wants to go to Bora Bora? You can go to Jersey and buy booze so
Go with an empty
cheaply.
boat and stock up. Get another fridge.
Yeah, I mean the immediate what next for the boat is to go either to the Channel Islands or somewhere where the wind's blowing at the end of August.
Yeah, the Channel Islands will be next.
In the short term, we're staying in Brighton with our new flat, and we're saving our beer tokens to
For one happy day in 2017.
when we're able to follow the boat.
Follow the
Follow
boat.
Come out and find us. Come out and find
It'll
us.
be a while.
Well, that's it. That's Marco and Lorraine, and I think that was great fun. And I wish you the best. And I hope
you.
we can go and spend some of those beer tokens now and have a
I
beer
think
then.
we
What a
will.
brilliant idea.
Excellent.
I think it's my wife's rant.
Oh, I'm off. Thank you very much.